And we're recording. And I think the levels are okay.
They look all right.
I mean, we'll find out. This could be actually like a big disaster.
It probably is going to be a disaster. That's kind of our track record. So we'll see what happens.
Are we going to call this Groutfits?
I don't know what we're going to call it because this is just us 3 beer in it, free ball in it.
Well, if it is Groutfits, this is episode 10. If it's not Groutfits, was it episode 10 or 10 months ago? I don't remember which one it was. It's been a long time since we've done this.
Oh, a long time as I kick my mic a little bit, So
we are using Audacity.
So it sounds like we're talking into a butthole.
Yeah, which is like a free audio thing, and then we don't have video because I'm not a video editor anymore, so I don't pay for the service, so I don't have any video.
I'm not a video editor
equipment anymore.
A part of my life is in the past.
Yeah, it is true. Now, who I used to work for is making some really cool stuff, which is exciting.
And he decided you weren't good enough.
Yeah, he needed to spread his wings away from me.
Dalton, it's not you, it's me. No, it is you, actually, and it's me.
It is, absolutely. So, hey, everybody. Hayden has 3 beers. He's drinking Bud Light, and I'm drinking Goose IPA and just 1 can.
Why did you have to say that I have 3 beers? I'm not an alcoholic.
Well, because I was like, hey, let's go to the fridge and get a beer, and then you grabbed 3 of them, which is impressive.
I'm not always impressive, but when I am, it's usually because I'm drinking large quantities of beer. Doctor recommended.
Yeah. Jesus. It's been a long time since we've actually been able to do this because now our schedules are finally
awful.
Kind of working out.
Yeah, I just actually switched my training schedule, so I just switched my trainer, and now instead of working 2 to 10 every day except for Wednesday and Thursday, I now work. I had to find 28 hours in 4 shifts from like 6 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Jesus.
Yeah, so that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, which is nice because I get weekends, but it's still like, oh, I'm going to be at work until 2 a.m., which I knew going in, so.
Yeah. Well, working until 2 a.m. is kind of nice because then when you get off, you can listen to those old-timey radio shows. Do you know about these? Have you heard about them?
Are they like fireside chats radio shows?
No, it's like okay, you know the radio shows where it's like a play but on radio.
So like Firesign Theater stuff.
Is that what that is?
Well, there was one called Firesign Theater.
Those exist and they happen between 2 and 5 a.m.
On what station?
You just got to find the station, man.
It's out there. It's on the waves.
WLBK used to have it, and then they switched to music. But there's other stations out there where it's theater on the radio.
That sounds like it'd be pretty cool. But
it's amazing.
One of my favorite things, one of my I don't want to say guilty pleasures because I just love it so much, is at midnight WNIJ switches to the BBC World Service. So I listen to what's going on the other side of the world live. It's pretty cool.
So it's like in Europe?
Yeah, it's from London.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's going on in London right now? I heard there's like some things happening.
I don't know. I haven't listened to the BBC.
It's okay.
World
They don't
Service
know
in a
either.
while.
So
I mean, kind of. They're like
Brexit.
I mean, well, that's a different story. That's if you're talking about London specifically. Like, I don't know about London specifically, but the UK is a. Oh God.
Can I get something off my chest?
Yeah,
just real quick. Last week tonight, why do they have such a weird schedule? How come they were on for 2 episodes and now off last week?
I don't know, but it bugs me.
Why do they do that? Why does John Oliver just like whip us around like that?
I don't know. It really bugs me though. I'm like, can you just make episodes every single day and I'll watch them every single day?
Even if it was just once a week. I don't understand.
Consistently, right?
I understand that they put in a lot of time and effort into their show. I can't imagine how many people work on that show to get their facts straight. Even John Oliver seems like he's more than just a talking head.
You know what? And if you haven't watched it yet, one of my favorite new shows that is kind of in line with
Fox
last
News?
week tonight. What's that? Yeah, yeah. Because I like to have sex with my siblings and try to cram softballs into my ass. Anyway, if you like that, I cannot recommend enough watching Patriot Act on Netflix. It is by
I've seen that.
Yeah. It's by a comedian named Hassan Minhaj, and he was on The Daily Show for a long time.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, and if you thought Last Week Tonight was speechy, if you thought Last Week Tonight was like forensics, you were going to be blown away at how much this is like, oh my God, every single episode is just an ADS. Like, he's like, oh, he's going to state with this speech. Like,
yeah, I watched one episode, and I think it was about the stock market. I think.
Would it have been about branding?
No,
like Supreme and everything.
I think it was about the 2008 crash. I think it was about.
I think there was one last season, about that. But
because it's on Netflix, right? Is it a Netflix original?
Yeah, it's a Netflix original. So that's really good. And then prior to that, like aside from that too, his stand-up Homecoming King is awesome. Is one of the best stand-ups I've ever seen. It kind of falls in line with Mike Birbiglia's My Girlfriend's Boyfriend. Which, if you've never seen, is awesome. Where it's like
the whole story's crazy.
Exactly, that's what it is. His Homecoming King is a story, and it's as much as it's telling jokes about him, being a minority kid and an immigrant growing up, and what that meant, like what that felt like. It also kind of it's bookended by how he got into the things he got into, and how he got his start doing comedy and everything else in between. And one of the major like stopping points in the entire special, like where he comes back to it, is this girl that he like really liked, and they kind of had a thing in high school, and just about how his race came into that, and how their parents are both weird, it's so good, it's so funny. And one thing that I've never seen, actually no, again, aside from Birbiglia, because Birbigs does that in his too, I've rarely seen in a stand-up is when it clearly pulls away from the comedy and is like, this is a serious moment.
Yeah, it's like for feel this.
Yeah, and it does that with the cinematography. So he'll be like telling a story, and then the stage as well. So he'll be telling a story, and he's coming to it, and it's just like forensics. So you'll see it, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You're like, here comes the beat. Here it comes. Here it comes. And it'll zoom in, and the lights will come down, and it'll be him staring at the camera telling a story, and then it comes in and pauses. And you're like, It
wouldn't surprise me if he did speech in college or in high school.
Oh, yeah, he had to have, because the way he's trained is for forensicators. Like, he's totally a speechy. If he's not, he should have been, because he would have been really good.
See, when people watch, whether it be like politicians or anybody in the public speaking world, if they're not trained the way that we've seen them trained, it's a very different experience.
Yeah.
Like when you see somebody on stage and they live for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because it's a complete difference in the way that they present themselves and how everything they're saying is thinking 2-3 times steps ahead.
Yeah. So I just became an officer at the Elks Club, which means I help induct new members and part of the decision-making body.
Arrest those that drink too much.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm one of those, so I arrest myself. But the role that I was kind of literally shuffled into by a handful of folks is a role that has a very heavy speaking part, because there's a whole ritual and thing that they do to get people in. Like there's tradition, which is, it's funny, but it's also like, oh, this is kind of cool that people they're continuing doing this.
Yeah.
And then they gave me was the highest speaking part. That's not the ER, the exalted ruler president.
There's an exalted ruler.
That's what it's called. Yeah,
dude, this is archaic, man.
I know it's funny. It's funny, but it's cool. So I am what's called the Esquire, and they gave it to me, and
you guys should wear robes.
I don't have a robe, but I have a big old medallion that comes out on my chest, like I'm part of a cult.
Flavor Flav?
It looks like Flavor Flav. It's it's pretty much it's like just barely 9 o'clock. So, but my dad was telling me, he was talking to one of the guys there, and one of the guys wanted to go over my whole part with me, my whole big speaking thing, so I can get it down and everything. And he was like, "Well, Pete, you're fine. Don't worry, you'll be just fine." And then he's like, "Yeah, no, I just want to go over it." And he's like, "No, but it's." It's had years of professional training speaking. You're fine. So it's just funny. I'm because Pete told me the same thing. I'm like, don't worry, dude. I got this. I'm probably gonna memorize it. And he's like, it's 10 pages. I'm like, dude,
that's easy.
I'm like, that's nothing. It's just, welcome to the Benevolent Protective Order of Elks. We're happy to have you.
You guys are kind of like the Freemasons, but with alcohol.
Yeah, and
right, a little bit.
I guess, and we do things.
What do you guys do? Free plug.
Free plug
for the Elks Lodge.
I was working at the Chamber of Commerce thing today, so I was literally telling people about this all day. They're like, "So what is the Elks?" And I'm like, "That's a broad question.
That's an animal.
It has long
it's an
horns. Yeah. 2, we're social clubs. We have cheap drinks and home cooked food, which is nice, and we give out scholarships and have a whole bunch of different like outreach programs. We do different things like food drives. We do different charitable events, so we can like bring people into the fold there then too, and help provide donations and other things that folks need around the community. So it's pretty rad. Yeah,
That's cool.
it's like a lot of pomp and circumstance for the initiations and all that, but it's just, it's still fun. It's cool to be a part of.
See, I wish there was like a dress code though. I think that would be really fun if everybody was in like robes and you guys had like ceremonies and stuff.
Well, for our
Just go real cult like.
for our initiation, we have to have a blue blazer and then like slacks, like tan, gray, or black slacks, a red Elks tie, and then if we're officers, like I said, we get these like huge like medallion necklaces that come around.
So if I wanted to become a member, I couldn't just become one and enjoy the benefits without that little initiation thing?
You have to do the initiation.
Dang it, really? You can't be like, hey, please, can I just not do that?
No, you have to do it, and I'll be there with you.
Yeah, but that's I wouldn't like that.
You'd like it.
That's like, I don't know. I would be super, super worried about it.
Now it's kind of neat because you see all these people who care enough to do these things that do seem goofy and are like, well, we care about this and we want you to do it. So
I feel like, okay, so you and I are not that far off in age. You got me by like a year and 5 months.
No, I've got you.
Year and 7 months? Yeah,
Not even a year.
That's true. Yeah, not even a year.
Because you're born in June, so
Right.
I've got you by 9 months.
9 months. Yeah, so we're not even a year apart. And I still feel like I feel like I'm sitting comfortably in my 30s and you are in your 50s. And I feel like that's where we're at right now. Because I still feel like I'm real old, but I'm not there yet.
We're all old. We're getting one day you wake up and you're like, God damn it, I'm 25.
It's so stupid though, because like
I'm halfway to 50.
Nah, I don't like looking at it like that.
It'd be like that though.
It's so stupid because we really are real young. We should still be like going out doing stuff. I love being in bed by like 9 o'clock.
You know what? I just like being home. I was telling actually Melissa, the bartender at the Elks Club today, if anybody invites me out past pretty much 9 o'clock and I'm already at home, no way, unless it's a special occasion. Nope. Like Saturday for Tyler's birthday. I mean, you're gonna be busy.
I still might come.
Yeah,
So
you should
we'll
come
see.
out for a beer or two. I'll be there
We'll see. The girlfriend's going to be in town for the weekend, so I don't know what our plans are yet.
for sure. I mean, I'll go out for a beer or two with you and go bother Tyler. At the very least, I'll try to drag Scott out.
He might come to RTX with us.
Scott?
No, Scott's
Tyler.
going to, but Tyler might, yeah.
Yeah, we need to convince Tyler and Amy to go. That'd be rad.
For anybody who doesn't know, RTX is a Rooster Teeth convention in Austin, Texas, and it's pretty much the most amazing thing for nerds.
It is pretty much the most amazing thing for nerds. So I completely agree with that statement. But yeah, man. Yeah, so I don't know. So Supernatural's ending. How do you want to talk about that? How do you feel about that?
It's really depressing because it's a show that has been on since 2005. It has this cast of characters that have become such a big part of my life. And because Supernatural is my favorite show all time, and it's not even close. But like the actors that are a part of it, when they started, they literally were like, "We will stay with this show until people don't want to watch it anymore." And finally, there's still a ton of people that watch it, but they figured 15 seasons was enough. And CW has so many other projects that they're putting money into that they decided to hold back and give them the send-off that they deserve.
The good news is, though, I think there's a very, very high chance that in about 10 years, they'll do an X-Files style revival.
I don't know how I feel about that, though.
Like, if it's 10 years down the line, and like they're probably going to end and they're going to go do their own things. I would assume the ending is going to be like either them riding off into the sunset or them going, all right, we're going to take a knee on this, or they're gonna like be finally finishing up some big conflict, and as the episode is coming to a close, something like there's a werewolf scream off in the distance, and they just look at each other, and it cuts to black. Indicating the perpetuity of their careers.
I mean, there's a line in the show where it's like nothing really ends in supernatural, does it? And like that's a thing that they go by. So it's pretty much like they'll the way they're going to do it, they're probably going to leave it open ended for sure.
Oh yeah, I don't think
give it a chance for something.
They're not going to kill anybody. They're not going to Joss Whedon it.
No, and they can't kill anybody. Everybody in that show comes back so often that
right. It doesn't matter anyway.
That's one of those examples of a show that has been on so long that the writers just decide we have no idea what we're doing anymore, and they just. I mean, the writing isn't good anymore, but I still watch it because I love the characters. So it's a bummer that it's going to be done, but they are doing their last season that will air next year, and hopefully after that, Jared and Jensen, who play Sam and Dean, they can be in some movies because that would be really cool.
That'd be pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, because they've only been in like My Bloody Valentine. Jensen was in that, and then Jared was in the Friday the 13th remake.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. Be interesting to see him in some like comedies.
That'd be cool, yeah. I think they do well with it. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh wait, no. So Veep actually is starting its last season this year after Julia Louis-Dreyfus just beat her battle with cancer.
Wow.
Yeah, I was reading some reviews about it, and it's supposed to be just exceptional, like the best season of the show by a landslide.
See, everyone tells me that show is amazing, and I haven't been able to check it. Is it 6 seasons? Is that what it is?
I believe it's 6 or 7 now.
Yeah.
And it's okay. The first season is okay. There's like some really funny moments. Like there's one moment where she like shits her pants in an ice cream shop that is really, really funny. But beyond that, there's like the first season is just kind of meh, and everybody sucks. The second season is good, and by the time you get to like the end of the second season, it kind of pulls a Parks and Rec. By the time you get to like the end of the second season, every other season after that is just better than the last one, and it goes.
Start to gain some steam.
The end of the second season, it cranks it up and is hilarious. And there's parts in it that are just so bad where you're like, I don't feel like can anybody see me watching this show?
See, I've read on Reddit that The West Wing, which I know is one of your other favorite shows, is what the government should be, and that Veep is what the government is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. In the United States.
And it's exactly it. And The West Wing is very clearly, obviously, about the Democrats. Clearly is. Veep never, ever indicates what party they're on. So it doesn't matter. Like, nobody actually believes what they're saying. They're just they're just Democrats because somebody else is a Republican and vice versa. And it just doesn't matter who's on what team. They all just suck ass anyway. And it's so funny.
I'm going to have to watch it because right now I'm sitting in a show hole.
You got to get through the first season. But,
I don't have much.
But before you do that, Veep is good. I mean, if you want to do that, it's easy to binge. Barry starts again, too.
When does Barry start?
I think like the end of this month.
Get out of here.
I think it actually premieres on Sunday.
That's a show that when Hayden tells people about to watch it, they go, okay, yeah, I'll watch it. And then you sit down for the first episode and then you finish it that night.
Oh, yeah. Everybody I've told to watch it and I've watched it with, we've all finished it in the first, finished the first season in one night.
I stayed up until like 4 a.m. finishing that show because I was like, I can't stop. When you finish the episode, you're like, okay, I guess I can make another.
I think it was like 2 a.m. when I got to the episode where they like go to the airfield and I'm like.
That is one of the coolest cut to blacks I think I've ever seen.
Especially with the build up
TV.
Yeah, especially with like using Cowboys from Hell to build up to it.
Yeah,
God, it killed me.
So good. Speaking of HBO too, because I feel like we've been talking about that a lot. Game of Thrones is obviously almost here.
Yeah,
and that'll be the final season. And I was really hoping, and they haven't done it, and I don't think they're going to do it. I was really hoping that some of the episodes would be available in theaters because I feel like they could make a ton of money doing that.
Like if they aired the finale in a theater, you know?
Yeah. I want them to do it so bad because I would absolutely buy a ticket to that.
That'd be cool.
Because the way that they're shooting this last season, pretty much every episode is a movie length.
Yeah.
Put it in theaters.
That'd be rad, yeah. I'd go see 1 or 2 of them.
Well, how do you think the show is going to end? This will be a spoiler part of the podcast.
I don't know.
Do you have any theories?
I really don't know. Because, and again, I'm going to sound like a cynic with this, and we've talked about this before too. The way they played the last season really kind of soured me to a lot of stuff because every other season of the show kept you on your toes. It wasn't doing the Marvel thing where it's letting the heroes win, which is what's so
fan service, yeah,
which was what's so sexy about it. And then all of the last season was fan service, every single bit of the last season, and And the one thing that I have, the one criticism that people levy against my claim there is the whole, well, they killed the dragon. It's like, well, they had to kill a dragon.
Yeah.
She has 3 nuclear weapons. Like, there would be no point in watching if Danny rolls up with the dragons and is like, I guess I'll just cook all these people made of ice.
He needed a dragon to fight back.
Yeah, and that whole
The Night
episode
King.
was only about killing the dragon. That was the sole purpose of it. They only used that we have to go catch a White Walker as the backdrop to kill the dragon.
The acting is still phenomenal.
It is.
The cinematography is really great. I do agree that it gets a little cheap at some points in the last season, but I'm hoping there's a theory that fan service, like what they did with Tormund, how they didn't kill him off. This is setting up the dominoes to watch them all fall in the last season.
Oh, yeah.
So it's the idea that they spent what is this? Is this season 7, the one that's upcoming? They spent the first 5 seasons showing you that like anything can happen. You're going to lose people that you love, and then season 6 they go, okay, just so you know, everything that has happened, don't worry about it anymore. These people are safe. And then season 7, the last season, they're going to just start killing everyone.
I think with that it makes sense because the show has never been about the good people winning, and it makes sense that they're going to kill a bunch of people off and then still have a winner. I can sit here and tell you about my theories all day. I think the only way that for the show to end that makes sense, that makes all of this struggle, this whole story, an effective and lasting narrative, is if it ends in some sort of republic or democracy or even like
would be cool.
Representative monarchy. You know, like democratically represented monarchy. So like it can't just be about who's going to be the king at the end, because all of this was about somebody being a king. So,
you're a queen, but there's parliament.
Yeah. So I think Danny, to that matter, I think Danny is a red herring. I think Danny has to die because she's had this whole blood claim to the throne for how many seasons ever, and now she's finally here and is ready to roll, and she has her dragons, and she either has to die or they have to really break her down in the last season so she knows that she is meaningless in the long run of things. Because for this to matter, they can't have dragons. They can't have somebody that has the ability to, at the whim, kill anybody they want to.
Yeah.
Can't do that. And they can't have a divine right of kings. They can't have Dany and her sons and daughters just be on the throne, because it's effectively moot at that point. There's no protections put in place for her son to not grow up and be crazy like her dad did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like monarchy as a system is fantastic if you have a great ruler, and because you can't tell who the family member is going to be that takes over, what their personality traits like. Yeah. That's where it falls south. Because with monarchy, absolute monarchy, I should say, you can get things done immediately. Yeah, because that is who is in charge.
And I think for me, with the whole show, I think what would make this, aside from that ending, aside from having a democracy or republic, so everybody they all fought it out for a reason.
I like that. That's the first time I've heard someone say that.
It makes the most sense. It's like, otherwise it was just, moot. I am a huge, huge fan of the idea that Jaime, if everybody dies, if everybody loses and lives, Jaime is the only one left alive and left standing or doing anything, because I think it would be such they've already done such an immaculate job at changing him from the original villain who was despicable to somebody who has learned and is demonstrating that they have learned. And I would love for the show to end with Jaime being the quote unquote winner, because it allows people to be seen as individuals who can be redeemed, which is a hard thing. And it never takes a quantity and says he did this act and it outweighs this bad act.
Yeah, I mean, the first time you meet Jaime, he pushes a kid through a window,
which is awful.
Yeah,
which is terrible. But now he has willingly demonstrated his intent on fighting to the death for the good of people, and I think he has repented, he has apologized, and it's like, and I just like the idea of taking somebody so awful and changing them and having it not be comfortable, having it not be the hero has won, the hero was made. You know, the person who won, who got here, was somebody who learned and figured it out. Jon Snow has not done that.
No, he hasn't.
He's done a good job. His character arc has been great, but he has not had the drastic change or character arc that Jaime has.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're totally different. Jaime has he's had the best character arc, I think.
Yeah.
Him and right next to Tyrion. I think Tyrion's gone through a lot of changes too.
You want to just keep going, man? We're getting like close to our time, but like...
Yeah. I was going to bring up... I don't care how long we go.
Right.
We're putting this on SoundCloud.
So who cares anymore?
I was going to bring up one more thing with Game of Thrones. Emilia Clarke, that's the girl who plays Dany, right?
Yeah, but right. Did you see...
The aneurysm thing?
Yes.
Crazy. Okay, so let me know if you know more about this than I do. So she had an aneurysm through filming, right?
Yeah.
And then when they were going to remove that, like she had surgery for it, it popped another aneurysm.
I think she had 2, yeah.
Which is crazy. So she not only survived the first one, but she survived the second one. I was reading all these stories on Reddit from people who have family members who have had aneurysms, and by the way, it's terrifying because there's no symptoms. It just happens. And it could happen to anyone. It doesn't matter your age, too, as far as I can tell. But the fact that she was able to go through 2 and she's still
it's wild,
doing great and working through it. It's awesome.
That's amazing. Mm-hmm. I can't even imagine doing that. Especially, she was 21 when that happened.
She was 21?
I think she was 21.
How old is she now?
I think she is 32, 33.
Oh, wow.
Because it started going on... Because Game of Thrones aired when we were in high school, so...
Yeah, it's actually crazy that it's been that long.
Maybe she's 30. She's about 30.
Okay. So this came out... Has it been 10 years of Game... No, it hasn't.
About.
Has it been 10 years of Game of Thrones?
Well, so they've been producing this for 10 years.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Because think about that. There was a whole year where they produced the whole first season, if not longer, because they have all the time they need to get it off the ground, pretty much. And I don't know if you know, D.B. Weiss and David Benioff actually like filmed the whole first episode with different characters and different. Like, there was like 4 or 5 different people who were cast in critical roles in the show, as characters in the original pilot. And when they aired it, like it was when they showed their friends and family and other producers at HBO, they laughed at it. And it was like it was so bad. It was so bad that they almost canceled the show outright. And then they were like, give us a chance, and then redid it. And they're like, oh yeah, okay, this is fine. This is really good.
This is fine. And it turns out to be like the biggest thing HBO has done since The Sopranos.
Yeah, since The Sopranos, seriously. Yeah. And Deadwood now, which I'm halfway through the first season.
One sec with Deadwood.
Yeah.
Because I do want to ask about that.
I'm talking a lot, so you go ahead and take over.
With Game of Thrones, you know that people on the internet, they've figured out what the ending is. Like someone out there has written it out, and they've been like, this is how it's going to end.
It's the perfect bracket.
Yeah. And then, you know, the creators of the show, the writers that know how this ends, they peruse the comments, because of course they do, and they look and they're like, wow, this person who was downvoted 300 times,
got it.
They're right. and so when it comes out...
Oh my God, we are going to have aliens come and stick probes in everybody's butts. Like, they're right.
Man, that would be a complete 180. What if they just decided, you know what, screw everything, we're just going to completely throw this... I
want a show to do that. I want to get so in love with the show, and then just have the creators just as like the best practical joke or like bullshit move in the history of TV and movies. Do that. Like, what if Avengers Endgame actually ended with Ant-Man crawling up? Like, I would be. I couldn't even be mad. I'm like, that's brilliant.
Oh, it would be amazing.
They did that.
A show has done that, though, where it's like an amazing, great characters, great story, and then they just decide to shit on it at the end, and that's Dexter. So that's happened, where they were just like, hey, you know, all this build up to like how this show should end? Nah, let's have his sister die out of nowhere and then have him drive his boat into a hurricane.
Well, I was kind of like interested in watching that.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. That's how Dexter ends, and I just saved you so much time.
Thank you. You're too good to me.
It's honestly like one of my favorite shows of all time. Also, I have a bunch of stuff that I saved on Reddit that I wanted to bring up. So it's amazing that we're at 30 minutes and I haven't gotten to those yet.
What did you bring up on Reddit that you wanted to show me?
I gotta find where I put my save stuff. I was going through. Okay, here's one for sure. So NASA, I don't know if you read about this.
Oh my gosh. This was a mess. This was awful.
Do we think about the same thing? They're offering people $19,000.
I was thinking of something else.
Okay, what are you thinking of before I go into
The fact that they didn't have spacesuits for women.
What? When did this happen?
Oh, yeah, they canceled a spacewalk because they didn't have spacesuits in the sizes for the all-female astronaut crew they were going to have.
When? Like recently?
Like 3 days ago.
Oh, that's weird. I didn't see that. That's horrible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's because we have,
They probably got a lot of flack for that.
President Dumbfuck, is instead trying to fund his stupid wall.
There's no political bias here.
I don't care. I'll fight anybody who thinks he's good.
Hey, dude, I'm going to take that other beer you have, if that's cool.
Hey, you got 3 beers, man.
Yeah, well, it was reserved for me. So NASA...
I'm almost done with this one. I was ready for the third one. You jag off.
They're offering people $19,000 to stay in bed for 2 months.
Oh, I'd do that.
So they're doing a sleep study. Here's the thing, though.
Well, do you know why they're doing that?
2 rules. I don't. Have you read into this more?
They're probably doing that because they're trying to travel. They're trying to test long distance space flight.
Oh yeah,
ways to get around that. Yeah, because there's a whole.
That makes sense.
Because it would take I don't know. I don't think it's 2 months, but it would take upwards of a month to get to Mars anyway. At least, maybe even a year.
And who would want to go there?
I would go there.
There are two. There are 2 rules in order to be a part of this study. One makes sense. The other one is I really need to read the article to understand this. So the first one is you have to be between the ages of 24 and 55. So we qualify.
Yeah, all right.
We're right there. Okay. Second one is you have to be fluent in German, and that doesn't make any sense to me.
What?
Right? Isn't that weird? You must speak German and be between 24 and 55. Also, you must be healthy.
I'm healthy. I speak very good Spanish.
Yeah, but that's not German.
It's not German. It's, somewhere up there.
But I really should have read more into it to see why.
Like, damn it, I should go back and do German.
Yeah, see why that you need to be fluent in German. But I wouldn't want to go to Mars. Why would you want to go to Mars?
What do you mean? Why would I want to go to Mars? Why would you not want to go to a planet that nobody's ever been to?
Because there's nothing there except for this dead robot.
I want to go to Mars. Don't you dare speak ill of him.
Who they just made have this sad. Why we didn't need to see that. Okay, it's getting dark or whatever that robot said. The rover said.
So actually, that was a transmission that was sent like months before we had confirmation that it was gone.
So sad.
And the robot was the rover was being like, I don't want to say personified. I don't think that's the correct word. It was not actually like this is it, guys. I'm dying now. It was literally just like a series of ones and zeros, like just a code that it was like, it is getting dark. My batteries are low. That's it. And
yeah, but that's so sad.
But what's funny is it is.
Yeah.
It's like so good. I'm like, me too.
You feel for it, even though obviously it doesn't feel anything. But it's getting dark and his battery. Oh, so sad.
It is sad. Dawn, you should go get that other beer.
Rest in peace. I don't want to go. What are you going to talk about?
Well, I don't know. You can just pause it.
You talk to. No, we can't. We've got to keep it going.
We can't. Okay.
I don't trust Audacity enough.
I don't know, dude.
To pause it. I don't even know if we stop right now if it's recorded. This could be lying to me. I'll grab you a beer, but you got to come up with something to talk about.
Grab 2 more beers. All right. Ready?
You keep talking?
Yeah, I can keep talking.
All right, good.
Well, if you need to grab one for yourself, go ahead. So I just want to let you guys all know. I just finished recently watching all of Justified, and it's exceptional. It is hands down one of the best dramas of the last 10 years. It flew way under the radar because Mad Men and Breaking Bad were on TV. And they deserve, they got the attention, deservedly so. I mean, they're great TV shows. But The Justified is awesome. It is 6 seasons of U.S. Marshal Waylon Gibbons going down to Kentucky and dealing with criminals down there in his hometown and his home state. And it's really funny. And it's a really good drama that'll give you some really good twists and turns. Has some great celebrity cameos.
I'm just going to guess what this show is.
What's that?
Dexter's Laboratory.
No, it's not Dexter's Laboratory, dude. It was Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Okay, well, those are kind of close.
Gosh. Anyway, thanks, guys, for listening to my rant while Dalton went and grabbed me one beer.
Yeah, I grabbed you one beer. I just opened this one.
Yeah, but I wanted 2 beers.
How are you going to drink 2 beers that fast?
I'm going to drink 2 beers that fast.
Ridiculous.
Anyway, keep going.
So another thing that I pulled up is on Ask Reddit. And back when we were doing Pool Noodle podcasts,
Oh, God.
we would use Ask Reddit. So I have one here. You're in a coma until 2040. You wake up in front of a computer and Google is the first screen you see. What do you Google first?
In 2040?
You're in a coma until 2040. Yeah. Right now, 2019. Now you're 2040 and you're looking at a computer screen and it's Google. What are you Googling?
Did Donald Trump get reelected?
You want to know that?
I want to know that.
He does get reelected. I have no faith.
I don't either.
That's what you would pick?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and what would you pick? No, wait, hold on. I would look up if they like rebooted Firefly.
Jeez.
Like Firefly reboot.
They probably will reboot that.
No, I don't think they will.
I feel like there's so many fans.
What's that?
I feel like there's so many fans of Firefly. Why wouldn't they?
Because
Unless they tied it up in a nice little bow. I've never watched it. Did
they
it end well?
They tied it up in a bow.
And not a nice little one.
No, it's a great movie. Serenity is a great movie, and the ending is very good.
I have it.
Why do you have
On
Serenity?
my bookshelf. Not on that. It's on my bookshelf in the living room.
And you've never watched Firefly?
No, I have
You know what?
Serenity, and I have like a box set.
I recommended Veep. I recommended Justified. Watch Firefly. It's one season. It is right in the vein of Supernatural, where it's goofy and it's something. It's kind of different. And then watch Serenity, and you will never be the same.
I don't want that. I don't want something to change me.
It'll change you.
In like a good way?
Yes, and other ways.
I don't like that at all. I don't like the vagueness.
Joss Whedon has a knack for doing things that you'll as soon as you finish Serenity, you'll go, this is probably what Joss Whedon is known for.
Okay. Yeah, so, I have a coworker who let me borrow Serenity and the season. And then awesome. Applebee's went under, and now we don't talk anymore, so they're mine.
So you have both of them. No, I have rewatched Serenity and Firefly probably 4 or 5 times. At least. I probably played Mass Effect more than I've watched Firefly. And I'm currently actually in a Mass Effect trilogy run in the middle of one. I'm about to finish number 2, and since I paid today, I'm going to buy all the DLCs and play them with this one.
You know what I find crazy about you? Is the fact that you have like these passions, and you don't have any tattoos to like reflect those passions. How do you not have a single tattoo?
Well, actually,
how is there not a Mass Effect tattoo somewhere?
I was just telling Ben about this the other night. Like, I think I decided on my first one, if I get one, and it would just be probably on the inside or like on my bicep or something, and it's just like the different starships, because I'm a huge sci-fi nerd,
Yeah.
Different starships in a black line showing they're moving, or like just in a formation, and then like a black filled in shape of it. So the Falcon, the Normandy, Serenity, the Enterprise, just I can probably think of 3 or 4 more, but like I'd like a little fleet of just sci-fi stuff.
Do you have something against tattoos that you haven't gotten one yet?
No, I just don't want to spend the money on it immediately, and
they're expensive.
I am not 100% confident about any ideas that I have. So
yeah, I mean, because if you choose to do something, it's on you forever.
It is on me forever.
Or you could pay a lot of money to get it removed, but I've heard that's horribly painful.
I heard it is nasty.
Yeah, so that's something that's, if you're going to do a tattoo, you should be very confident about what you're going to get. You got to get one on your ass, and then you forget it's there. That's pretty much the best way to do it. Yeah. Then no one really sees it unless you want them to see it, and then you just forget about it.
I guess, yeah. I mean, you also did get a Blink-182 smiley on your ass, so there's that.
Hey, it was after the reformation, and I did it because I think it is a good way to look back at my childhood, and the fact that it's on my ass is just a.
You know what? I think about my childhood when I look at my bare 10-year-old ass.
It's kind of what it's like. That it is my Blink-182 smiley is a representation of my childhood.
Yes, sir. That's not God. I'm sorry.
I have one more topic that I wanted to bring up. I watched a documentary yesterday.
Oh gosh.
and it was a
Was
national
it aliens in the sun?
No. It was a national. I was looking for that everywhere. I'm not kidding. I could not find that at all.
I just pulled for reference, ladies and gentlemen. What he's talking about is his copy of Blink-182's California.
Son of a
And
bitch.
I literally just leaned over to his bookshelf that he has, his DVD shelf here, and just pulled it on out.
I could not find that to save my life. Okay, cool. I know what I'm listening to tomorrow on the way to work. No, I watched a documentary last night, and it was National
breath,
Geographic.
dude. I'm nearly bored too.
Amazing album.
Okay.
It's called Free Solo.
Oh yeah, it's the climbing one that it won a Grammy. It won an Academy Award.
So I finally watched it, and I can understand why it won an Academy Award.
Oh, really?
That thing was crazy. Like, the people that do free soloing, and for people who don't know, it is people who climb cliffs and rocks, but they use no gear. They don't have any ropes protecting them if they were to fall. They don't use anything to, like, get smacked into the wall so they can grab onto it. It's literally they just go up there, and with their feet and their hands, they climb up this cliff. And the guy...
I'm listening. I'm just fixing my nut. I just pinched my nut.
Oh, Jesus. The guy who is the focus of the documentary, I don't remember what his name is, he climbed up a 3,200-foot cliff.
Good Lord.
Using his bare hands. He didn't have any ropes or anything like that. He has to like karate kick his way across some cliff, like parts of the cliff, and there's points where it's just nauseating to watch this because they have camera crews all over from above him, below him, and it shows the people's the reactions of the guys who are filming it because they're like, we could very well watch this guy fall to his death, and then you have to be as a tech. A camera person in that, you have to be okay with that, and it's like a whole thing.
I bet it's wild, man. There's a... Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just going to say it's just nuts, and I highly recommend it. You should check it out.
You've seen like a lot of the BBC Planet Earth stuff and all that. In the BBC's Africa, which is very, very good. It's one of my favorites they've done, mostly because I really like just learning about Africa. They're in one of the... extra scenes, like the bonus features, everything. They're interviewing the filmmakers about just like scenes to them that really stuck out, like different things that they caught that were just amazing.
Yeah.
And they talk about how they caught it all, like stuff like catching meerkats climbing out of the ground, and they put a camera, and the meerkats would know the people were there, so they'd have the camera rolling for like a day straight to catch these meerkats because they weren't going to come out initially.
So much space.
Right? And one of the ones that really, that I thought was just staggering, is one of the filmmakers is talking about this scene where they are filming this herd of elephants walking across this like dry land, this desert area to get to another food source, another water source. And David Attenborough is doing this thing and is narrating like how these elephants are likely thinking, like what we know from their history and their habits and everything, how they work, and basically it boils down to they know that they have to do this or they're going to die, and they know that they might die on the walk there. So, but they have no other choice because they're everything else behind them.
They're elephants. They can't call it Airbnb.
They can't at all.
Yeah,
but everything else behind them is dead. There's no water, there's no food, so they have to go. Right. And in one scene, this baby elephant can't make it during this whole capture. This baby elephant can't make it, and ends up like collapsing. And the mother elephant tries to pick it up, and it's not getting up. It's not strong enough to keep going, and so she stays with it and dies with it.
That's so sad.
Yeah, and again they're talking about how the mom stayed back, knowing full well she was probably going to die. And
that's a very human quality that you see in an animal.
Right, but elephants are some of the smartest animals on the planet. Like it's not even close. And the filmmakers who were talking about this were talking about capturing this and how they felt. And one of the guys like just broke down and started crying. And he's like, and we didn't do anything.
Yeah, because they can't upset the balance. They're there to capture it.
Right. And so that was his whole point. Is he's like, but we're capturing this. We're showing what the world is doing to these animals. And then conversely, there's another section where they're in the Arctic in a completely different film crew, where they're in the Arctic and they're filming these penguins that are trapped in like a ravine, like this, like they're trapped in this big old like ditch and they can't get out. And so they've been filming them for a few days, and it like they in a very rare thing for the Planet Earth folks, in the actual shot itself, they come in, one of the guys comes in and is like, hey, we watched these penguins here for a few days, and we have a team have decided we're not going to let them die. So they go in and they dig steps out for the penguins and then film them, and all the penguins get out. And it was just nuts because they're like, we want to let nature do its thing, but there's like 200 penguins here that are just going to die.
Damn, so they stepped in.
Yeah, which is, it's just cool. I mean, you think about the free solo thing, all the and these documentarians, like whether it's animals or people, like going into this knowing, all right, we're gonna possibly watch something die, and we're choosing to do that.
Really, it's a job that I don't think a lot of people understand and give the proper like head nod to. Like these people are incredible. You watch these people solo climbing up a cliff, that's ridiculous. But then there's also a crew who is standing there on the side of a cliff. They climbed up there too. Granted, they're harnessed in, but then they have to hold like 60 pounds of equipment and watch this thing happen. Like film crews and camera crews, they're really something.
I mean, think about it. For every crew that's gone up there and has watched somebody do that, there's another crew that has gone up there and watched somebody die.
Right, and the documentary does a good job of showing all the idols this guy had, who kind of like paved the way for free solo climbing, and every single one of them died free solo climbing. And he has a girlfriend and everything, and everyone understands that like if you solo climb like this, that's how you're going to die. And there's an empowerment about that because you kind of take control of your own destiny.
Yeah.
Granted, I feel like you're shortening your life up, but you're also experiencing something and knowing that you have control whether or not you're happy. If that makes sense.
I guess.
They did like a CAT scan of his brain, and the amygdala, I think I'm pronouncing that right, it fires up in normal people whenever you have like, it's like a pleasure receptor. And so if you do something that you find pleasurable, it lights up in the CAT scan.
Like pooping.
And like pooping. And then everything in his life doesn't light that up except for climbing. It's like any experience he has, he doesn't feel a rush. It has to be that. So it's like a way to help explain why he's wired this way.
That's weird, dude. I mean, I get it. People have those things. It's kind of like being on stage, you know. Granted, a lot less threatening to your life, but it's something that like regular folks like would never want to do ever. Mm-hmm. But I mean, being up there and demanding that somebody look at you and what you're about to do is a similar sort of crazy. You're not doing something death defying. You're not gonna, you're not worrying about like dying on stage there, but everybody else is going to be thinking about public ridicule, is thinking about what if they mess up and everybody thinks they're awful, for the rest of their life, sort of thing.
I still think you need to do stand-up. At least one set and see how it goes.
Why do you think that?
Because you said you were going to do it and you haven't done it.
I know.
I've wanted to see it. I want to do it too. I just can't think of any material. I actually haven't tried yet, but...
So maybe one of these days we'll just have to... We'll buy a case of Bud Light or Budweiser, and we'll take a day off, and we'll help each other write a little stand-up thing. We'll do we'll do like a 10-minute stand-up.
I think it'd be really sweet. I would like to... I think for 2019, we should at least do it once. Like a 10-minute set. Yeah, it's a little long. 5 minutes.
We'll work on something. I think we should set aside a day, though, and just see if we can...
Oh, yeah.
Like, think of
Get
things.
the juices going. I feel like we have stories that would play really well.
Oh, yeah. That'd be my thing.
Like you and the dog with the condom. That story's great.
That's a classic. That's
my
one
banana
that
story. That's
I'd close
great.
with that.
Yeah, it would be a really good closer. So we've got
your
material.
banana story.
The banana peel. I've told that one before.
Oh, with
the podcast.
The microwave banana peel?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Not great. I'll let people decide on that. I'll tell it someday. But I think that one will play really well.
No, Lucy and the condoms. That'd be, God, people would lose their mind. That's a story that like people hear like like, what happened? And I'm like, God damn it. Somebody set me up for this. Like every time we've been out and you brought it up, I'm like, God damn it. Now I have to.
I think you told that on a podcast once.
I might have.
I think.
I might have, but yeah, no, I'd have to do the stand-up of that and be like, so this one time.
All right, so we agree. Some point in 2019, we'll get together and we'll see if we can write something.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay,
we'll shake on it.
I'm down for that.
Shake our penises on it.
With this podcast, I don't know what your plan is with it. I would like to do it. It doesn't have to be like every week or anything like that. I think it would be cool to like get people on it and like have like someone to interview almost, but like free form.
So kind of like what we were doing before.
Yeah,
just again.
Yeah, just again. and because I thought it was a lot of fun. I think
it is fun, yeah.
one of the really good parts of 2018 was we were doing it consistently every week for like 8 months.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. We were doing some form of podcasting. Even if nobody listens, it's still fun to just talk about our feelings.
It is. It is fun.
Oh, man.
And we're way over, but did you have any stories that you wanted to bring to the table? Because I do have one more.
I don't. So why don't you go ahead and close us out?
That was in my Reddit stream, if I can pull that up. So this came up in Our Science today. Woman with mutant gene who feels no pain and heals without scarring, discovered by scientists. She reported numerous burns and cuts without pain, often smelling her burning flesh before noticing any injury. That was as published in the British Journal of Anesthesia and could open a new door to treatments. So that's the headline right there.
Okay.
She was on the BBC Breakfast this morning. This is a Reddit comment. At one point, she was asked about childbirth and said that she still never felt a thing. She was aware it should hurt a lot. So she'd say that she was going to let the doctor know if she needed drugs, but she just gave birth without it because she didn't feel anything. So we've heard about a disease, and I can't remember the name of it, where you don't feel pain. Like people have that, where your nerves don't work right. Like they're getting hurt, you don't feel it. But this woman has the ability to heal without scarring, which is weird.
Huh.
Because of this mutant gene that they're looking into.
That is a little whack.
Sounds a little X-Men-y, right?
X-Men-y?
Uh-huh.
I guess, yeah.
And when I read that, I was like, okay. I read the headline and didn't read the article, because why would I? What kind of treatments do you think that they could lead to with this? Just by having this person as a subject of like what the human body could do with this gene.
Super soldiers.
You think so? That's what they would want to do?
Why wouldn't?
Why would you get a super soldier when you could make a robot?
I don't know.
Right, exactly, because robot would win.
I guess, yeah.
Robot you can control. Super soldier you can't.
I don't know, man. That's interesting.
Because was Bucky a super soldier?
I don't remember. I know he had his like bionic arm thing.
He does have
super
a bionic
jacking arm.
The Rooster Teeth guys were talking about if you could have one superhero jerk you off, what superhero would that be? And I think it's an interesting question because who would it be?
Captain Marvel?
Captain Marvel?
Brie Larson?
Okay, I guess in the... I
just punched a hole in your argument.
I wasn't thinking real world. I was thinking like the comic book character. So I guess the...
Carol Danvers? Probably Carol Danvers, yeah.
You think so?
You know who that is?
Not Incredible Hulk?
You know who that
is?
is?
Marvel.
Yeah, it's Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Which Captain Marvel was a guy and a girl, I think, right?
Well, there's Captain Marvel in DC, which is Shazam.
Yes, that's right. And then they lapsed. I just listened to a podcast about that.
Yeah.
Where they lapsed and Marvel bought that name.
You know what? Brie Larson is the best. If she wanted me to wipe her butt with my tongue for the rest of my life.
Jesus Christ. Did you like Captain Marvel?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it was really good.
And hold on, I meant that. I want to clarify. I did not mean that as sexually. I meant that as like, she's just beautiful, and I think she is a great woman. That's about it. And I would do anything that she wanted me to do.
I wish I had any editing software whatsoever.
All right, well, we're gonna have that in there now.
Erase that.
It's okay. I've said some dumb stuff on here before. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
What about the Incredible Hulk?
Why would I want that? Be like him grabbing a peanut. He's like, ugh!
Yeah, they discussed
Wouldn't
this,
want that.
and they came up with that the Incredible Hulk would be the right one to choose, but like not Incredible Hulk. It would be like an angry Bruce Banner.
So pretty much you just want Bruce Banner. Like, you want Mark Ruffalo giving you a hand job is what you're saying.
Pretty much.
That's weird, dude.
Captain Marvel was amazing. Have you seen the movie Us?
No, want to.
It was good.
I kind of rave reviews, and I saw some other ones that were like, it was okay.
It was good. I feel like, and I suffered from this, and I knew I shouldn't have. People go into it with the idea that this is Get Out.
No.
Okay?
Nope.
And you go into it with like, okay, this is how Jordan Peele is going to top what he did. And if you go into it with that, I think you'll be disappointed. But if you go into it with, hey, I really like this director, let's see what he's coming up with.
Yeah.
Then you'll love it.
I love Jordan Peele. I'm more than happy to just go watch anything he does. And I'm so excited for Lovecraft Country on HBO, too. It's going to be great. But anyway.
Which was filmed a little bit in Melbourne.
It was, yes.
Yeah, there's this profound thing about Jordan Peele that I found out. It was like a little blurb about him.
You found out?
Huh?
A blurb?
Yeah, it was a little blurb about him where people were comparing him, saying he is the next Steven Spielberg. He is the next Martin Scorsese. And then the person said, no, he's the first Jordan Peele. And I think that right there is really cool.
Yeah, I agree with that entirely.
Because he's someone completely different.
Yeah. Before we go, I was going to share, last night, I got access to the Elder Scrolls Blades.
Oh, you were talking about that a little bit.
Yep, except I can't play it yet because they're rolling it out through a limited access period. So I have this loading screen that says, thanks for downloading. We'll let you know when you can play.
What exactly is it? It's a mobile game?
Yeah.
What?
It's an Elder Scrolls game, yeah.
So
you like swipe with your thumb and everything. You can turn it sideways. You can cast magic and swipe with your thumb. It's not like an Elder Scrolls like MMO. It's a procedurally generated dungeon crawler. So it makes the dungeons at random, and you go and you can fight all these different like monsters and other like bandits and stuff, and you block all their attacks in real time with your swipes and everything. And then you can use spells. And then there's like another like stronghold part of it, so you can build a town. And so if I have it and you have it, I can build my town, and it looks different and has different things than yours is, and I can go visit and walk around your town. You can come walk around mine then too. I mean, it's like it's a mobile game, but it's supposed to be pretty dope, and it looks really, really good.
So rather than Bethesda putting out a new series in the Elder Scrolls, so Skyrim, Morrowind, Oblivion, they decide to make a mobile game.
They're also working on Elder Scrolls 6. They're just going to yank that out as long as they can. And it's probably going to come a lot sooner because they definitely shit the bed with Fallout 76. Like I knew that they would. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm an oracle, but I knew that they would. They were turning a game that was previously an RPG into a limited online shared shooter thing with nukes. Like, no.
It sounds like something EA would do.
Yeah, it does.
And I don't know why Bethesda thought that was a good idea.
Oh my god, like Fallout 4. So Fallout 4 came out and they put out DLCs for it, and then like 2 years after Fallout 4 was out, maybe a year after Fallout 4 was out, they're like, no, it was 2 years. They're like, we're gonna do Fallout 76 and it's gonna run on the Fallout 4 engine. And they were fixing the Fallout 4 engine like right up until the DLCs came out. So they're like, yeah, we're gonna have it out in November of this year then too. And you're like, what do you mean? You just fixed your engine, and you're gonna put it online with a few people? No, you're not.
That's so stupid.
It was stupid. There's granted, I'm not. I can't make video games. I don't have that prowess, but I know enough to go. They just finished their engine. They finally patched all the stuff that they needed to patch for it. It was broken for a while, and now they're gonna take this and add servers to it and have entirely different leveling systems and entirely different combat systems. Like, no way. And that wasn't even the problem. They had game-breaking bugs, like people were literally like finding a loot room, like where you go and there's everything in the game. It's in a room. I mean, it's like, it was a shit show.
That sounds like it would be nice.
It was a shit show. and there was like no NPCs in the game at all. There was like no quests really at all. I mean, it was like barren other than the people who gave you quests. It was a mess. And on top of that, they had a huge PR issue because they like advertised these bags, these really nice bags that you can get if you pre-ordered it, and people did that, and they came and it was like a Walmart bag.
Oh yeah,
it was like not the backpack. It like, could you imagine ordering a backpack like a Newport? That's a cigarette. I don't know what that backpack brand is called. It's like New something.
Oh, I have no idea.
It's like
I bought off-brand at like Kohl's.
So you buy a nice, so you order a nice backpack online. You're like, this is dope, and they send you a Walmart bag. Like, could you imagine that with a hole in
it? to add, make it even worse. No, I could not imagine.
That's what it was.
That would be really horrible.
Yeah, man. So we just hit an hour.
Yeah,
cool.
And I think that is a good point to stop.
I agree.
Because we both work tomorrow.
And I'm going to go put my sweats on and drink my beer in my house. And probably finish Mass Effect 2.
Well, this was fun. I am down to do this again sometime soon.
Agreed.
And we could get somebody else on here too. And yeah.
If we got CD. Oh, you're going to have your boss?
Yeah. So probably not this weekend, but we'll see. Maybe we could do a big thing. Who knows?
A big thing. We could do a big one.
It'll probably just be audio for a little bit. I kind of want to see how often we do this.
Before you invest in more video.
Yeah, so until then, this is what it'll probably be. So I hope you enjoyed it. And like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Pool Noodle Entertainment, where we might make some shorts at some point.
Right.
Who knows?
On that topic, real quick before we go,
I
really, really want to do like a let's play almost of like just the worst mobile games we can find.
I already told you I'm down. We have all the equipment.
There's so many bad ones out there. It's not even funny. So like the other night I was looking up Prince of Persia because there's apparently a port for it in old iOS. You can get like Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, and it wasn't on here. So I searched Prince of Persia. And I got Prince of Persia Escape, which is a mobile like reboot of the original one from like the 80s. Then I have Aladdin Prince of Persia, which is stupid looking. Ninja Jump Run, the burger game. Prince of Persia Har, which is like a food and drink thing. But if we go to...
How is the burger game in that list of things, though? What does that have to do with Prince of Persia?
Who knows? Then there is Prison Escape Puzzle, Titanic the Mystery Room, Egypt, Persia Prince Run. I mean, it just goes on and on. High School Escape, and it says only 5% can escape, and it has 2.12 thousand 5-star ratings.
Jesus.
Cabin Escape, Alice's Story. I don't know who Alice is, but I think we need to find out. And then Baby Games for 1-year-olds.
Okay, yeah, I'm absolutely down.
Here's Queen Wedding Planner is another good one. Oh my god. Robber Shooting Gun Escape.
What the
That's the name of the game.
What the fuck?
And it looks awful, and we can just like record it on my phone like this, or like even on the iPad. I can bring the iPad over, we can play it on that, and
I'm totally down. Down.
Yeah.
Whenever you want, we'll set it up. We got the equipment for it, so.
God, this is going to be a mess.
Cool. All right. Well, we will close it out there. Thank you so much for listening. If you are still at this point, that's amazing.
Thanks.
So take it easy.
You're troopers.